Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are taking a look at the new reformulated Chantecaille Future Skin Foundation. This is one of my favorite foundations of all time. So we're going to find out if Chantecaille screwed it up. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to take a look at it though and compare it to the old one. I also want to mention I did pick up the Fara Homidi bronzer in Bois. A lot of you have been asking about this. My understanding is that it somehow became popular over on TikTok or somewhere and now is like selling out. So I'll have a review for you guys so you can see it, so you can actually find out if it's actually good and worth it, or if there's just a bunch of people who got paid a lot of money to talk about it. Yes, I'm a little bit snarky today. I apologize. This is probably a Saturday video. There's no disrespect to Chantecaille. It has nothing to do with Chantecaille. It's hot, and I've had like a migraine, heat-induced migraine for like 3 days, and yeah. So I have an interesting story to tell you guys while I'm pulling this stuff out. So the other night I had a live that I did, and I was dealing with this headache as well. And after the live, I took both Ellie and Harper out. If you don't know Ellie and Harper, I'll put them up here. If this is your first time, hi, by the way, my name is Jennifer. I'm not usually this salty, although I can be it sometimes. My name is Jennifer, and I was a makeup artist for Chanel half a lifetime ago. And here on my channel, we do all things luxury, beauty, fashion, runs the gamut, and every once in a while, some funny stories. If you're interested in all that, I would love it if you would go ahead and subscribe down below, hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. And I also have a membership that you can join that has a Discord that has all kinds of extra good stuff. So Ellie and Harper, I took them both out at the same time, which I never do by myself. Like, I'll do it if my husband's with me or my sister's with me or whatever, but Ellie's a big girl. She's a pit bull, sweetest thing ever, but you know, she's big, so she can pull you. And if something happened, I would want to be able to, they're both trained, but you get the gist. And so I have Ellie and Harper. I know the story, I'm taking forever, I get it. So Ellie and Harper, I'm taking them outside, and to my right, so it's like 9:30 at night, to my right, I see movement. And then Ellie loses her mind. Like, she starts growling and snapping, and Ellie is the sweetest thing, and pulling. Because Ellie's doing it, Harper, who is about to be 15-year-old, blind, toothless Maltese dachshund, does the same, because he's not going to be outdone by his younger sister. And so he goes charging. The Maltese dachshund, the blind Maltese dachshund, goes charging in the direction of what I now realize is a coyote. Yeah. Harper has a breakaway collar. I highly recommend breakaway collars for anybody who has an animal that they leave alone from time to time, because if the collar ever gets stuck on something, it'll break away, so the dog doesn't get injured. But the thing was, Ellie was pulling so hard. I mean, Ellie and Harper were pulling so hard, and I didn't have Harper on a harness like I usually do. The collar broke away, which is what it's supposed to do. But then Harper has no collar on and is going towards the coyote. I was like, oh my. So I run, I grab Harper, and in doing so, Ellie gets off, like she takes off, like it comes out of my hand because Ellie is so strong. So I'm just like, ugh. So I run inside, I put Harper down because I was like, okay, we gotta put Harper down. I go get really good high quality treats, like the meat treats that Ellie will, go for. Come running back out, thinking Ellie is gone, like her leash trailing. And Ellie is outside in the front yard by where the coyote was, just sitting there with her leash, like just waiting for me, like, why'd you leave me out here? So I go out in the driveway and I'm like, come here, Ellie. She comes trotting over and I give her treats and she's all happy. But I was just like, first of all, completely like just relieved that she was still there, because I told her, like, as she broke off, I was like, Ellie, stay. And then I ran inside with Harper because I was like, I got to get Harper out of the way. Harper's so small. If a coyote did attack, Harper would, unfortunately. Ellie would take down a coyote. I feel bad for the animal. I feel bad for the coyote, but I don't want the coyote to eat Harper. So she's just sitting there like, I did my job. I drove it away. Can I have my treat now? I was like, gave me a heart attack. Anyway, so Ellie got lots of treats, lots of praise, and went to Starbucks this morning. She's feeling very proud of herself, so just wanted to impart that story to all of you guys. She's the best dog. Any of you out there who, and I understand why, because of all the press, pit bulls are the best dogs. They have to be trained like any other dog, but more importantly, bigger dogs who can do more damage, there's no doubt, they need to be trained. And I'm not glad of what happened last night. It was my fault for trying to take them out at the same time, which you should not do. But she actually listened. Like, her training worked. She stayed after I said, Ellie, stay, and then ran inside and came back out. She waited for me, just sitting there on the front yard. So, I mean, she drove the coyote off, but then she just waited. So all the training I've done with her is actually working, which made me very proud of Miss Ellie. So she wanted me to make sure I, told you all that. Anyway, let's get on to makeup. So yeah, so I'm hot. I had like a almost heart attack, and let's talk about makeup. I have nothing on my face right now. I have been posting things about skincare, and in the Nordstrom sale that's coming up, the anniversary sale, I've put some of the tools and some of the skincare that I think are really making a huge difference in my skin in the Shop My page, which I'll have a link to this video. I'll have it linked to all the videos going forward. There are a number of tools and a number of new products, skincare products, that I think are really making a huge difference. 8th Day, which I've talked about sort of, but I haven't gone into a lot of detail because I haven't used it for 30 days, but I can tell you after the first 2 weeks, I was like, wow, this actually makes a huge difference. And that is part of the sale for Nordstrom. And then the medicine, the doctor medicine, I was on a live with someone. Where was I? Maybe my live. It could have been Sophia's live. I don't remember, but somebody mentioned it. And I said that I had it, but I hadn't tried it yet. And I think it was Sophia who was like, you should try it. Like, it's really that good. I was like, shoot. Those things are in the Nordstrom sale recommendations. The steamer, the PMD steamer is in there. And I want to mention again, my Nua device. I've talked about the Nua device a million times. For those of you who are new, the Nua device is a microcurrent device that can tighten your skin. I have recently been looking at the idea of a facelift. Now, nobody panic. I'm not doing it, but I've been doing research. And basically what happens is there's a limit to what skincare, Botox, fillers. I don't have any fillers, by the way. I do have Botox. Well, not now, but I do get Botox. Mostly for headaches, to be really honest, but I do get it for the lines here. I don't have it here, but up in here. So there's a limit at a certain age. Your skin just loses, so much collagen, and it starts to, like, it's the neck, really, that starts to soften more than anything else. And if you see somebody in their 50s and 60s who has a really tight jawline, it's possible that it's natural, but more than likely they've had something done. And if it's super tight, I don't want to be, but yeah, it's probably a facelift. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If I had a facelift, obviously I'd show you guys. And they actually suggest the time to do it is in your 50s and 60s, because you don't wait too long, the skin becomes, it's harder to do. And so I was like, well, I hate this right here. I'm sure a lot of us have that, you feel like you have jowls, and I hate that. And I noticed it was getting worse lately. And again, I'm just getting older. That's how life works. And so I've been using the Nua device more often, and I've been targeting it just and right here. And I have to say, if you look at some of my recent videos, you might notice it does look better. Now, the thing is, it's not going to do what a facelift is going to do. It just won't. And anyone who tells you that any device that you're using at home is going to do what a facelift can do, I'm sorry, but they're lying to you. It's not the same. And it just isn't. Science will you can't do the same thing as literally moving your face. However, you can make minor differences in your skin that you'll notice. Like I notice, I feel more confident. So with the skincare tool, the skincare products and the tools, they're active ingredients in those skincare products, by the way, that are part of the Nordstrom sale. And the Nua device, and another device that I'm using, an LED device, which you'll probably see a picture of me wearing pretty soon, but it's new to me because it's a neck one. And so I'm doing before and after pictures, so I won't say anything about its effectiveness until you actually see it. But I have to say I really like it, and I think it's a really good product so far. So I mention all of those things because when I talk about makeup and I talk about beauty and I talk about fashion and all of that, skincare I don't go into that much because I'm not a dermatologist. It's not my background. I don't have expertise in it, but I can say what things have worked for me and what things don't. And I do have lasers. I haven't had lasers in several years now. 2 years? A year? I can't remember how. I have videos of it. And I do that for the rosacea. But the thing is, with lasers, you do produce more collagen, which does tighten your skin. So I think my skin is looking pretty good for a number of factors. Very clean eating, not because I want, not because I'm strong, guys, but because I have digestive immune problems, so I can't eat anything. So clean eating, lots of water, lots of rest, lowering my stress. Sauna, I have a sauna in my house, which my husband bought for me actually, which was very, very kind. An infrared sauna, which helps. It has LED, red light in it, by the way. Which has made a huge difference to help lower my stress levels. Cryo, do cryo as well. And then skincare, really good skincare, tools, all this stuff on top of it. So anybody you see that you're like, oh, I wish I looked like that, whatever it is, I'm gonna make the guess here. Now again, I could be wrong, but that person has put a lot of time and effort into whatever it is that you are looking at. And you say, I want to be whatever that is, like in amazing shape or have really good skin, or you can do that as well. It just takes a lot of work. That's really what it comes down to anything. Like to be successful, to be good at anything, in my experience, it just takes a lot of work. Nothing comes easy to any of us. And anybody who makes it sound like any of this is easy, you know, they don't want to admit that it takes a lot of work, but even like the people, the famous people now who used to say things like, oh, I just, you know, put olive oil on my skin, are admitting to all the work that they've had done and all the training that they do and blah, blah, blah. So never feel bad if you don't look a certain way. You can look that way too. It takes work, it takes money usually. And you know, anyone can get there if that's really what your goal is. It's just takes a lot of effort. So let's talk about Chantecaille, shall we? So Chantecaille recently reformulated a bunch of products, including their Future Skin. Future Skin is one of my favorite foundations of all time. In fact, this was a foundation that I almost only wore back in the day because it was the first like gel formula that really helped with my rosacea, because my skin would get hot before I did any lasers. And the gel formula was really soothing and it felt great on my skin, and it's just a beautiful finish. So when I heard that Chantecaille was reformulating it, I was like, what? So, but I have heard good things, and we'll talk about the formula today. So this is what they sent me. This is a really cool PR package. I was just like, I got it the other day. I was so surprised. It's basically a very large size of the container, which I thought was really cool. And then there's information here about the reformulation. So it's the same formula as it was before, in the sense that it offers the same like fresh, natural looking coverage. So the coverage is supposed to be about the same, but it has a cleaner profile. You know, everything's going towards more clean, but with more skincare benefits. So you've got aloe, arnica, and chamomile, along with rosemary and green tea extracts, which I believe were already in the Future Skin, which is why I loved it so much. Then the new upgraded formula also includes hydrating Spirodella polyhesa extract, which is an innovative plant-based retinol alternative derived from mastic tree, which I have never heard of, and soothing chaga mushroom extract. So that's fascinating. So the mushroom extract will be soothing to your skin, which, you know, I love. And a retinol alternative is great for somebody like me. I can use retinols, and I have been using more of them actually over time, but it's very limited. Like other people who are using like tretinoin and stuff, I can't do that. That's too strong for my skin. But I can use retinol in a very limited way. So some type of retinol alternative is fabulous if I'm using it every day, especially as part of my foundation. So we are going to try this out today. I have it in 2 shades. There are 7 new shades. So it's a bigger line, a more expanded line. I had many times mentioned that Chantecaille needed to expand their shades. Working on it. It is difficult, I guess, because of some of the ingredients in here. So that's why they're, I think, playing with the formula. So there's a lot of new shades. On the fair side, there's Aura, Alabaster, Porcelain, and then Petal, which is new, Ivory, and then Shell, which is new. And then as you go up a little bit, light medium, you've got Macadamia, which is new, Vanilla, Chamomile, Almond, which is new, Nude, Cream, Maple, which is new, Hazel, Shea, Chai, which is new, Amber, Sand, Tamarind, which is new, and then Teak and Carob. So, you know, hopefully the shade range is a little bit better than it was before, and we'll continue to work on that. So the 2 shades that I have in front of me are Aura and Alabaster, which are the 2 lightest shades. I tend to go with the lightest shades. It's not always correct, but oftentimes it is. I'm very, very pale. Unfortunately, that's just, I mean, it's the way it is, right? So, all right, so let's look at these two new shades and see if I can tell any difference between the formula, just like looking at the formula. By the way, I do have a fan on in the background. I'm using the Dyson fan, which is the quietest one. Hopefully it's not too bad. If it is, I apologize, but it's just too hot. So my studio is on the 4th floor of my house. I need a little bit of a fan or I'll pass out for all you guys. All right, so this is the old Aura and this is the new Aura. Notice a difference in the texture. Let's put that on. The texture, yeah, the texture feels the same. The color is different. So here's Aura old, here's Aura new. The old Aura was pinker. The new Aura is warmer. And then let's use Alabaster. Here's the old Aura, new Aura, Alabaster. So the shades are definitely different. I would say Alabaster, I'm gonna rub it in a little bit. I think Aura is still my shade. Yeah, Aura is still my shade, but it is definitely warmer. Let's try the new Aura on my face. And I'm gonna use the brush they gave me because why not? Yeah, you can see I don't have any Guerlain watery oil on or any of the Chantecaille, you know, rosy tint or any of that because I just wanted to use this by itself, see what we think of the formula. It feels the same so far. Actually, it feels more soothing already. That's interesting. Like it feels cooling because it's hot. Okay, let's try the brush. Oh, the brush is nice. Synthetic brush. You want to use a synthetic brush for a cream product unless there's a couple brushes you could use, but generally stick with the synthetic for a cream. I am gonna do a brush video, guys. I've been asked a bunch of times. It just takes me a while to do the brush videos, so it's coming. I think the shade is perfect. All right, let's try, see if it builds at all. If you wanna build like a cream product, you just sort of wanna pounce. Don't, you know, swipe. Yeah, it does. It does build. It is very cooling. That's interesting. I think it's more cooling than it was before. It's a great finish. I like the color a little better because the old Aura, and I'm just gonna put it on my hand, like I'm gonna build it up a little bit. Old Aura was a little pink for me. I mean, not too bad, but it was a little pink. And I think this shade is actually, now if you're really, really pink toned though, you won't like it as much. See how different it is? It's much more peach now. Here's the old Aura, here's the new. Same finish. I don't notice a difference in finish, but it feels more, it's more cooling. It feels like a little bit more of the gel in it, like kind of feeling. But the color is definitely different. The finish is the same. Yeah, the finish is beautiful. I mean, look how it looks skin-like. It doesn't. Yeah, I really like the finish of it. I mean, I think it's the same as the old finish, but feels very lightweight. It feels very cooling. I think the shade works really well on me. I went with a peachier tone. And the cap is a little different, just, I mean, it's not major. There's a C on the front. All right, let's do the new cheek Gelee. I did a video with these. This is Delight, one of their new shades, and it's a really good shade for anyone out there who likes, I would say, peach, well, yeah, peachy coral. That's the best way to describe it. I'm trying to find my brushes. Where are my? The new cheek Gelees are really nice. They have a beautiful finish and they're very easy to use. I'm so glad they actually reformulated and came out with new shades because for the longest time, I really, the only shade that I had was Happy and I love that shade, but that was it. Like they never had any other ones in stock and I was always like, okay, this is a really great product. Why don't we ever have any? So yeah, the cheek Gelees are really, really nice products and they work great on pretty much anyone's skin. They are not super pigmented, but you probably have figured out by now that Chantecaille is not, it's not the line you want to go to if you're looking for like a super pigmented look. It's definitely more of that skincare look. I mean, that's the gist. So let me put on a little bit of liner, and then we're going to use the reformulated lip gloss. So this is the shade Tone from Chantecaille. Chantecaille has some of the best liners, some of the lip liners and eyeliners. I hope they come out with more of those too. All right, so let's use this. This is one of the new shades. This is Glimmer. Kind of reminds me of like Glinda the Good Witch. It's very sparkly and very pink. It has like a vanilla type scent. I actually really like this product. I like the Chantecaille lip glosses for like an everyday kind of gloss. I've said before, I have them in my top drawer because they're just, this is gonna sound like a bad thing, but it's not a bad thing. They're basic, as in like, they work well, they're not too sticky, they're not too opaque, they're not too shiny, they're not like, they're just a good everyday lip gloss. You know, they've turned basic into a bad word now, but anyway. Oh, the Fara. This is the Fara Homidi Refillable Lumi Matte Soft Suede Bronzer in Bois, which is the lightest shade. It has 18 months. It comes in a pebble that looks exactly like the Westman Atelier pebble, except with the brown coloring. I mean, it's exactly the same. It has the same opening, all of it. It's the same weight. The only difference is the color. And then it has the Fara name on the top. And these are refillable. So the shade, that is the shade. It is much lighter on the skin and in the swatch, which I will show you, than it is in the pan. I'm building it up so you can see it because it does take a little while to build it. That is the shade Bois. It is definitely cool toned. It is definitely a good fit for anybody who's interested in a cool toned bronzer. Now, I'm not sure why this suddenly took off, but I will tell you this. I'm on the Sephora site right now. When it launched, it's completely sold out. It is sold out in every shade except for the deepest shade. The Bois shade is considered a beige tan with cool pink undertones, and I agree. It is $78, and it is cruelty-free, vegan, pressed powder formula, clean, satin finish. Ultra smooth bronzy powder with a cream-like feel, featuring Lumi Matte Soft Suede for lustrous soft matte finish. Melts seamlessly into the complexion, medium, buildable, ... The ingredients in here, snow mushroom seems to be popular, mushroom passion fruit seed oil, and kaolin clay. So the kaolin clay minimizes the appearance of pores while creating a bright, blurred look that is also in the Westman products. If you have very dry skin, you might be somebody who doesn't like the kaolin clay. I have noticed that the kaolin clay can be a problem for me depending on how much of it is in the product. The Westman Blush Sticks has it, and I'm fine. There was another product that I can't think of right now that has it in it, a bronzer recently, that it looks great. So it does depend on the formulation. It's not just clay that is a problem. However, if you have extremely dry skin or you just hate the feel of clay of any kind in any way on your skin, this might be something that you have a problem with. There is 2 oils in here though, one richer and one lighter, that supposedly help in the adhesion of the powder and gives it a creamy texture. So it doesn't feel clay-like at all. There's also a very light silicone in here, which does make it feel very smooth on the skin. So I'm gonna show it to you on the skin, and then I'm gonna show it to you in comparison to the favorite bronzer that I've been using forever, which is the Tom Ford. This is the main reason I have my hair up like this. We'll let it down, and I mean, it's also hot, but I'll let it down in a minute because I want you to see the bronzer on my face and how it looks all over. Now, again, I also wanted you to see the Chantecaille foundation, but this way you can see how the bronzer works. That is the bronzer. I need to get my roots done, but other than that, that's how that looks. 2 things to say about the bronzer. It does feel really nice on the skin. It does blend in beautifully. It is a great shade for me, and I really, really like this product. I can't tell you right now if I like it better than the Tom Ford or the recent Guerlain Prisme Libre or the Queen Musia or any of those because I've only been using it for a couple of days. But I will say that I understand why everybody likes it so much. I just think it is a lot of money. It's $78. It is refillable. $42 is for the refill. So that does make a huge difference. You know, if you're picking it up and then you do the refill, it does really bring down the price. There's no doubt about that. So it's 0.12 ounces, 3.5 grams, $42 for the refill, and $78 for the case. Here is it compared to Terra. This is Terra, this is Bois. Now I think you can see two things. The Bois is actually cooler than the Terra. The Terra, this is the new Terra, so the original Terra was cooler, but it is cooler than the Terra. And it is kind of a loomy matte. I hate using words like luminous and matte together because I'm like, a matte is not luminous, but it does describe the finish of this. It does have a slight luminosity to it that comes through when you move that the Terra does not have. The Terra is a soft matte. And it does look really nice on the skin. So my thoughts on this is that it's an excellent product. It looks really good on. I love the color. I have the Hourglass right here, which I'm also going to compare it to. I think that if you have more mature skin, you're going to like it because there's a lot of ingredients in here that will appeal in the sense that it's blurring, it's comfortable, it has a silicone that makes it, you know, smoother. The clay is the blurring, it, you know, helps blur. I don't notice that it's drying in any way. I mean, I haven't seen that. This is the Hourglass. So the Hourglass, although like I said, I really like the Hourglass and I was really impressed with using it because the formula is excellent. You can see it's still a lot warmer than the Bois. The Bois is quite cool, but it still works as a bronzer. The thing about bronzer and contour needs to be cool toned because it's literally looking like a shadow. And bronzer needs to have some warmth to it, otherwise it doesn't look right. But the line, the art to coming up with a cool tone bronzer, which is for fair skin, which is what I was talking about in my video, is that people who have very fair skin don't truly tan in the same way that people who have deeper and especially warmer skin tones do. What happens when I tan is that my skin does get a little deeper in tone, but it also looks a little redder, a little pinker. And so that's what you're trying to find. You're trying to find a shade that, yes, looks a little bit deeper and a little bit bronzer, but has that pinkish undertone to it, which is what happens to me and probably many other people who are fair when they tan. So that's what this captures, and it does it quite well. And the Terra is more of that traditional bronze, but cool bronze. It's still like a warmer tone than a contour would be. This one by Fara is, I have to say, really very good for somebody who's looking for that, what has been a later trend in bronzers, definitely more pink undertone. So if that's what you're looking for, this Bois is excellent. Now, it is buildable. You can make it deeper. I'm about to show you. You'll see how deep I can get this. It's quite a bit deeper. And you can build it so easily because the formula kind of clings to each other. Like it's very good. It also feels really nice on the skin. You're not going to have any problems with that. At least I haven't. And that's just two. Like I just, you know, I don't do too much more because then I will look ridiculous. But again, I'm very impressed with the product. I just haven't used it long enough to be like, oh yes, this is, you know, it's going to stay and it doesn't irritate my skin and all those other things. Yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about it. I mean, the only thing I would say is it's $78 for, you know, 0.12 ounces, which is not a lot of product. However, the refill does make it cheaper in the sense that when you buy in the future, it's only going to be $42 and then you can refill it and keep the cool case. The case is great. I love the case, but it is the Westman case, except different shade, different name. So there you go, guys. The Chantecaille products, the reformulations are excellent. The Future Skin Aura, though, is a different shade. It is warmer, it is peachier. I actually really like it on my skin. But again, if you're somebody who liked the old shade, you might not be happy with the new one. The lip glosses and the cheek gelees are excellent. The sale is coming up soon, in a month. Put them in your cart. I'll have links, I'll have codes. And then this new bronzer by Fara Homidi it's really good. I mean, I don't have any negatives except maybe the price. But again, if we're talking luxury and we know how much these things are, it looks really good on the skin. It feels really nice. It blends really well. It's very smooth. It's buildable. There are only 4 shades, but I mean, in bronzer, I don't know how many shades you'd need. The second shade is a tan with golden. The third shade is a Roma tawny tan with warm. And then the last shade, which is still in stock, Ombre mahogany tan with deep warm undertones. So maybe the fact is they don't have deeper shades with cool undertones, which they, you know, hopefully she'll come up with. It is really nice, and the formula is great, and the shade is perfect for me. So I feel like I just did the bronzer video, and then, yeah, I get hit with new bronzers. That seems unfair. Anyway, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear, you know, if you picked up the new bronzer, if you're interested in the new reformulated Chantecaille products, and if somebody wants to explain to me why the Fara products became so popular, this bronzer especially, so fast, I would love to know, because again, I think it's a fantastic product. It's just, it's sold out, which for a new release, to have all the shades sold out except for one, that's impressive. It's an excellent product, so I'm glad that people are buying it. I just, it's online only, so it's not like people were trying it in the stores. So I'm wondering what it was that I missed that, you know, made everyone so interested. I did pick it up though while it was still available, so good for me on that one. And if you have any questions, just let me know. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in another video really soon.